Today, we're stepping into the rain-soaked streets of one of the darkest thrillers of the 1990s, David Fincher's Seven. Released in 1995, Seven wasn't just a crime film, it was a cultural earthquake. With Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey delivering unforgettable performances, it gave us one of the most shocking finales in movie history. But behind the bleak atmosphere and iconic "What's in the box?" line, there are hidden stories, production secrets, and surprising trivia you probably didn't know. So, let's pull out the notebooks, follow the clues, and break down 10 fun facts about Seven that prove why this movie remains a masterpiece of modern cinema. 1. The original ending almost didn't happen. Let's start with the ending, because that's what everyone remembers. New Line Cinema originally wanted a safer finale, where Mills rescues his wife and John Doe is captured. But Fincher received the script with the famous box ending by accident.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
When he read it, he insisted it was the only way to tell the story. Brad Pitt agreed, threatening to quit if the studio changed it. So the infamous scene, "What's in the box?" stayed.
And your pretty wife.
It shocked audiences, divided critics, and cemented Seven as a bold, uncompromising thriller. Looking back, it's hard to imagine the film ending any other way. 2. Kevin Spacey was left out of the marketing. Here's something clever. When Seven was released, Kevin Spacey was already a rising star thanks to The Usual Suspects. But Fincher convinced the studio to leave his name off all posters and trailers.
I took a souvenir. Her pretty head.
That way, when John Doe finally walks into the police station, audiences were stunned to see such a big actor in the role. It turned the twist into a genuine surprise, a masterclass in misdirection.
Detective! You're looking for me.
For fans seeing the movie in theaters in 1995, it was a jaw-dropping reveal. Sometimes, leaving a name off the poster makes all the difference. 3. Brad Pitt's injury was written into the script. During filming, Brad Pitt accidentally broke his arm when he slipped on a wet set and smashed through a car windshield. Instead of delaying production, Fincher adapted. They wrote Pitt's injury into the story, explaining Mills's bandaged hand after chasing a suspect through the rain. This accident gave his performance an extra layer of grit and frustration. Fans often point out how the real pain in Pitt's face adds authenticity to the film's action sequences. Sometimes accidents make movies feel more real. 4. The film nearly starred Denzel Washington. Believe it or not, Morgan Freeman wasn't the first choice for Detective Somerset.
This was found behind the same refrigerator, written in grease. There are 7 deadly sins, Captain.
The studio initially offered the role to Denzel Washington. Washington turned it down, saying the script was too dark. Years later, he admitted regretting the decision, especially after seeing Freeman's powerful performance.
Not a care in the world, not knowing that we are nothing. We are not what was intended.
Freeman brought gravitas and quiet wisdom that balanced Pitt's youthful energy. Without him, Somerset might not have become one of the most respected characters in 90s cinema. Sometimes the roles you turn down define other actors' legacies. 5. The opening credits took 2 years to design. Those scratchy, unsettling opening credits set the tone perfectly. They were created by designer Kyle Cooper, who spent 2 years refining the style. He filmed real notebooks filled with disturbing handwriting and spliced them into a jittery sequence. The effect made audiences uncomfortable before the story even began. It was so influential that Cooper went on to design openings for films like Fight Club and Spider-Man. Today, critics still rank Seven's credits among the best in movie history. Proof that sometimes Even the first 2 minutes can change everything. 6. The sloth scene used a real actor. Remember the horrifying sloth victim? Audiences swore it was a corpse or animatronic puppet.
Jesus. Victor?
What the hell?
In reality, it was a real actor, Michael Reed McKay, who lost weight to achieve the skeletal look. Makeup artists then spent hours transforming him into a terrifying figure. The moment when he coughs and springs to life made entire theaters scream.
He's alive! He's alive! Chucker's alive! Stop it!
McKay later joked that he loved watching audiences faint at his performance. It remains one of the most chilling jump scares in film history. 7. Morgan Freeman didn't like the library scene. At first, one of Somerset's most iconic moments is when he researches John Doe in the library.
This lonely man talking about the weather and other things. I tried to be pleasant and accommodating, but my head began to hurt from his banality.
But originally, Morgan Freeman didn't think the scene added much. He later admitted he was wrong. It became a fan favorite, showcasing Somerset's intellect and calm under pressure.
If we had 50 men reading in 24-hour shifts, it'd still take 2 months.
I know.
The scene also gave audiences a breather from the movie's constant tension. Sometimes the smallest moments are the ones that stick. 8. The ending caused studio panic. When test audiences first saw the box ending, many walked out in shock. New Line executives feared they had made the wrong choice, but Fincher and Pitt insisted on keeping it intact. Critics were divided. Some called it too bleak, others hailed it as a masterpiece. Over time, it became one of the most famous endings in cinema. Today, it's impossible to talk about 90s movies without referencing Seven's finale. Sometimes the risks that terrify studios are the ones audiences never forget. 9. Gwyneth Paltrow's role was almost cut short. Gwyneth Paltrow, who played Tracy, wasn't originally supposed to have such a big role. Fincher wanted audiences to care deeply about her, so he expanded her part. This made the ending hit harder.
Become vengeance, Ted.
Nah, she's all right. You tell me.
Become wrath.
Tell me she's all right!
Audiences weren't just shocked by John Doe's cruelty.
She begged for her life.
Shut up.
And for the life of the baby inside of her.
Ah!
They were devastated for Mills. Paltrow was still early in her career, but the film raised her profile. It's a reminder that even supporting roles can become unforgettable in the right hands. 10. Seven influenced a generation of thrillers. Our final fact is about legacy. Before Seven, crime films followed predictable formulas. After Seven, Hollywood embraced darker stories, morally gray characters, and shocking endings. Films like Saw, Prisoners, and even TV shows like True Detective all owe a debt to Fincher's masterpiece. It redefined what a thriller could be: stylish, brutal, and thought-provoking.
Judging by the deterioration of the muscles in the spine, blood tests show a whole smorgasbord of drugs in his system.
Nearly 30 years later, filmmakers still cite Seven as inspiration. Not bad for a movie that cost just $33 million. And there you have it, 10 fun facts about Seven that show why it's still one of the most unforgettable thrillers ever made. From Brad Pitt's real injury, to the sloth victim who terrified a generation, to that ending we still argue about nearly 30 years later. This film has cemented itself in pop culture history. So, what's the scene you'll never forget? Is it the library research, the chase through the rain, or maybe just Morgan Freeman's final line?
Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
If this video gave you flashbacks to the first time you asked what's in the box, give it a like, drop a comment with your favorite Seven moment, and subscribe to RewatchClub, where nostalgia isn't a sin, it's our passion. Until next time, keep your notebooks full and your curiosity sharper than John Doe's.